week for many, but if you haven't taken the kids back to school this morning and instead you're flying off on a term time holiday, this might be the last time you're able to do it.
Yeah, because it is reported the government's considering a total ban on term time holidays with fines for parents who don't conform. We're joined now by author and mum of three, Liz Fraser, and travel journalist Simon Calder. So Liz, the changes, because it's never been encouraged to go on holiday during term time, the changes that it would be completely unacceptable, banned altogether. Is that right?
As far as I understand it, that's what the proposal is, and very unexpectedly we're hearing an awful lot of parents this morning getting in touch saying, hang on a second, how are we ever supposed to go on holiday? We are battling against a market-driven thing where the holiday companies will of course bump their prices up 3-4 times during the holidays because they know that they can. And while I don't think, obviously, of course, I don't think we should be taking our children out of school during term time, obviously not. It disrupts the whole class, it disrupts the education and all of that. But I've done it. I don't know anybody who hasn't. You tag a couple of days on before or a couple of days on after, because otherwise you can't go anywhere.
Good, though, aren't they, Simon? Because they're putting the prices up on the weeks before and after. They're kind of including that in it.
Well, it's a market, and what I don't understand, look, I completely sympathise with hard-working parents who are desperate to get a break with their children. But it's not compulsory, for example, to go to Florida in November when there are no school summer holidays. But whenever I go to Orlando, the whole place is full of British kids, and it shouldn't be. It's not right. Even I have to admit that, sadly, education is more important than travel. And you can't pretend that you're watching the transformation of kinetic energy to potential energy in the theme parks of Orlando.
I'm just going to write that down. That's a good one. I like that. I like that. I'll use that.
It's very good. But Simon, couldn't they put so I just wanted to ask you, couldn't they put some sort of cap on the number of days on each side that they can do this? Because, you know, as Kate said, they're extending it a week on either side. Clearly, we can't say they can't increase the prices. But even if they could just go, you know, a couple of days one day or other, is that just fanciful?
They would say, unfortunately, that it's not us putting up the prices, it's all the people who are demanding the holidays, and the only way fairly to allocate them is to keep putting up the price. And by the way, look at the amount of money we lose during the winter. You know, at the moment, the next few weeks, they're going to be losing their shirts on holidays, and then once Easter holidays starts, they'll be putting the prices up again. But you do not have to give in to them. For example, this summer, if the Mediterranean holiday prices look too high, well, there's a glut of capacity across the English Channel from Dover to Calais. So just pile everybody into the car, if you're lucky enough to have one, and head down into France, find a lovely campsite, and that is your summer holiday. It'd be just as good at a fraction of the price.
You guys at home have had lots to say on this matter, as you might expect. Linda Cheeseman says this: I and hundreds of others back in the 60s were allowed 2 weeks away from school for a family holiday. It never harmed us, so I don't see where the problem lies. Others have written in and said they're willing to pay the £100 fine that might be given to them if they take their kids out of school to go on holiday. Would you pay £100 just simply so you could save maybe a lot more money?
You would save an awful lot more than that. I don't know. I tell you what, it's not even... I think for a lot of people, it wouldn't even be about that. It's the principle of it. And it's the principle of saying, you know, for the schools are just clamping down so hard. When they close for teacher training days during the middle of the term time, they can go on strike if they want to. I almost see it like a parent strike. I almost feel that way. And as so many people have pointed out this morning, in the correspondences with you, the extracurricular things that you learn when you can take your children away for a couple of days, not skiing in Switzerland, we're not talking about anything fancy like that, it's being able to get out of that routine. It's so important for families and for children to be able to do that, and we are all counting pennies at the moment.
Go on, Simon, jump in.
Instead of everybody getting cross, the thing to do, as one of your lovely viewers suggested, is just to be flexible with the holidays. In France, they do this. Last week, it was half-term for people in Lyon and Marseille. This week, it's half-term for people in Paris.
So
that smooths it all out, and the prices do not go up so high.
That's a good Simon, you see. Simon for Prime Minister.
Well, the campaign started.
Yes,
got one vote.
One vote. Nice to talk to both of you.